Welcome to ETimes, Times of India.
Thanks so much. Good to be here.
Could you please share us how was it acting in a pan-India Telugu movie, RRR first?
Yeah, so I love working in the South. I've most of my work in the last 14 years since I moved here to Mumbai has been in Hindi, in the Bollywood and Hindi entertainment industry. But I do work in the South from time to time, and I love it for a lot of reasons. But it is always very calm, very professional. Everybody gets their job done very nicely. Most of the stuff I'm used to, in the productions I'm used to, there's a lot of mayhem, a lot of chaos, a lot of shouting and swearing and everything. The sets in the South are a little calmer, and especially the experience at RRR with Rajamouli sir in control and the team, just working so well together. It was really smooth. It was really calm on set, and everybody's just down to earth and professional at the same time. So being on set, the shoot days themselves were excellent. The schedule was tough, as we all know. There were delays. This has been like so many years in coming now, so I'm just very excited that we finally get to share our film with the public now. So about 3.5 years ago, I was approached for the role, and it's been so many delays and so many twists and turns since then. So that makes it extra sweet right now.
Could you please talk about your role a little bit about?
So this is the first time where my character's name is the same as my name. We're both named Edward, so my character's name is Edward too, which is kind of fun. Fortunately, that's where the similarity ends, because he's an extremely ruthless villain, basically. He is the British officer who's kind of in charge of organizing things and executing operations, military and otherwise. So Edward's job here is to hunt down and catch Beam, played by Jr.NTR, which is no easy task. As I probably don't have to warn you. You've all seen the trailers and everything, the general gist and feel of the movie. So my character is really at the center of all that. Very excited for everyone to get to experience that.
Definitely. I'm a big Jr.NTR fan, by the way. So.
Oh wow! Cool. So yeah, I have a lot of respect and admiration for Jr.NTR fans, because you have so much love and enthusiasm for Jr.NTR, and he is a really, really amazing actor and a great human being. When I was working with him, I didn't really understand at that time initially just like how huge of a star he is, and how much people love him and the lengths they'll go to. But because just working with him, he's just a great actor and a warm person, and he's very humble. So you wouldn't know that he was had God status almost, in the South. And then I found out later. I was like, hey.
Oh, did you dub for the role, or was it a sing sound, sir?
Yeah. I dubbed my own lines. See, I speak Hindi just fine. Most of my work is in Bollywood, right? So I speak Hindi, but Telugu is something I don't naturally speak. I've done Telugu films before. I've done Telugu lines before. In this case, however, Rajamouli sir was very clear from the beginning that he wanted all his British characters to just speak in English. And I totally respect that, and I think he made the right decision, because a lot of actors from the UK came. It wasn't just me, and it had to look authentic. It had to feel right. And I'm okay learning Telugu and doing the lines, but if you get people who really aren't familiar with the language to try and get their tongues around it, sometimes the acting can suffer, the authenticity can suffer. So I think he just decided way in the beginning that we're going to speak English, and that also gives it an authentic feel too, right? Especially when we're talking to each other as a British character talking to a British character and all that, which is, you would think that goes without saying. Sometimes though, in a lot of things I've been into, you don't even see that, and like British characters talking to British characters in Hindi and all that, which is great for the audience. For the target audience. But in this case, we've got global phenomenon about to happen here with the release of RRR. And so Rajamouli sir knows what he's doing with decisions like this.
Like what? You've been doing all these British, colonial characters right from the beginning, be it in Hindi movies or Telugu movies. So did you ever get pissed off doing these characters? Or you want to do something else now in Telugu movies at least?
I love acting. I love being on set. I love the camaraderie and the satisfaction of creating, something that, so many millions of people get to enjoy. So I'll never complain about the roles I get. And I've had, so many great opportunities, obviously, to do a lot of British colonial villains, but I get plenty of other roles too, actually. And it's happening more and more. I think, people tell me I have a very sweet, likable face. So how come you always play villains? As an actor, I do what I got to do and I look the way I got to look. But the fact is that, yeah, I am basically a nice guy. I am very, very adaptable, and it comes naturally to me to do whatever role I want. However, I do think that it has become more challenging for me to take on roles that are more normal, natural people, and still make the performance convincing. When you're just a larger than life, evil character, a lot of the performance is sort of taken care of in a way, although there's still a lot to do on the side of the actor. But when you're just being natural and normal, sometimes, I find that a good challenge just to make that compelling. And it's worked out great. I've got a lot of interesting roles besides evil British dude.
So you come from US, right? So what is your perception about Indian movies before you got into acting in Indian movies?
So I hadn't seen Indian movies much at all. I'd never seen a Bollywood film until one day I happened to see Lagan, and it changed my life. It absolutely blew me away, and my life's never been the same since. I just loved it so much. I watched it over and over. I started learning Hindi. I started watching more and more Bollywood films. It just took over, this Kira. I'd always loved acting. I never made a living at it. I just was always in plays, and, growing up and throughout college and everything. But I started to realize that, once I'd been to India and traveled around and experienced, what it was like, and realized that this is where I belong. I realized I need to put together, my loves here of acting and India and Indian cinema. So I belong in Mumbai. So I started teaching myself Hindi before I ever came to India. I watched like 200 old Bollywood movies, mostly old ones, actually. I really love the 60s, 70s, Rishikesh Mukherjee era, Manmohan Desai era. I love the old masala vibe. It's just, it's so awesome. And I love the music and everything. There were years where that's all I cared about, all I listened to. Then when I came to India, I realized, okay, I'm in the movie now. So I stopped watching as much Bollywood once I was like, here acting and all that for some reason. But this is where I belong. And I don't know, like Raz Pichile Janam Ka Zarur Hoga. It's just too amazing how I just kind of against all logic moved here and dropped everything and moved here to make a new life. Punar Janam has, really just blossomed here. It's the best decision I ever made. I met my wife here. I started a family, my new career. I love India. What can I say?
So what about Americans? Do they watch Hindi movies at home or any Indian movie at home?
Well, so many Americans are of Indian origin. So certainly a lot of them do. And more, I think the rest of the world is getting into Indian culture, Indian music, Indian cinema. It's definitely happening. And with movies like Bahubali and Triple R, that really just cross boundaries, not by being more international or anything, but just really owning the Indian film genre and just making it as big and as Indian as possible, and doing it really well and with a perfectionist attitude. I think the rest of the world is going to turn more and more to just like the Indian film sensibility, and just really embrace it as part of the global masala that is world cinema. You know, I don't think that you know, there's any looking back now. Before I moved to India many years ago, there weren't many non-Indians who really knew much about Indian cinema. I was pretty much alone, and you know, I think it's probably starting to change. I only live in India, so I don't know really so well what goes on out there, but I think it's changing.
So you mean to say that Americans do watch Indian films?
Yeah.
At home?
Yeah, probably a little more and more. It's like it's gradually, I think, changing. And you know, I mean, Lagan so many years ago made it to the Oscars. So many people love that film, not just me. You know, so it's a force. And you know, if you look at a lot of regions in the world, a lot of countries, you know, Indian serials and Indian films are huge all throughout the Middle East. I have so many fans that get in touch with me from the Middle East, mostly for like the serial work I did a long time ago on Zee TV for Jhansi, that is still showing, still hugely popular with millions of people. You know, I hear from fans, you know, in Southeast Asia and South America, and it's just Indian entertainment is a phenomenon already in so much of the world. You know, it's only a matter of time before domination is complete.
You talked about Oscars. This year, Indian film Jai Bhim was sent, you know, for the nomination, you know, under the Best Foreign Film category, but that didn't get nominated. So, what do you think about, you know, like why did Indian filmmakers fail to get these Oscar nominations every time?
Yeah, you know, it's a very specific and I think well-researched formula to choose a film that gets nominated in any category, right? So I think whatever those criteria are, the Indian film fraternity that's responsible for that part of it just hasn't quite cracked it yet. You know, I mean, they're sending great films. They're doing, you know, they're doing their job, but you know, there are some very specific and, you know, well-researched, you know, criteria that need to be looked at if you want to have, you know, a better chance of getting selected. And there's, you know, the Oscars are such a PR-driven exercise now. So I don't know. It's not my area of expertise. But I sure hope that we do get more selection coming years, because you know, Indian cinema is just so much fun. It has so much to offer.
How many days did you shoot for RRR, sir?
At least like 40 days, I guess. But it took so many years to complete. So I had to kind of clear my schedule in the beginning, and you know, we were supposed to wrap in probably like less than a year with all my dates. That took, you know, about 3 times longer than it was supposed to. But it's all worth it now, like I said.
So how did you like the professionalism and filmmaking style in South India, Telugu films, compared to Bollywood and, you know, Hollywood? Because you've seen everything.
Yeah, well, you know, I love the vibe on the South Indian set. You know, I'm so used to the shouting and the cursing and the chaos and the rushing around, working in you know, in Mumbai and the Bollywood industry, which I love. It's exhilarating. It's fun. But the peaceful vibe that I felt in the South, and always do when I shoot in Hyderabad or Chennai, is really refreshing. And everybody's just doing their job. They're getting it done. Nobody needs to shout at anybody. Even, you know, Rajamouli, sir, who's absolutely in control. You know, he doesn't have to shout to get exactly what he needs done, right? People just have that respect, but without, you know, so much formality even or anything. It's just absolutely professional.
So, did you watch any Telugu film before?
I've seen Bahubali 1 and 2. You know, strapped myself in and went for the ride. And yeah, it's good fun. And I've seen quite a few other films as well. I definitely am better versed in Bollywood and Hindi cinema, especially older films. But I do love films from all over the country.
What was your last watch movie in theater recently?
Yeah, I saw Jhand, which was fantastic. I really recommend you go see it if you haven't already. And just knowing that it's a true story, you know, it's so uplifting. It's really the kind of movie, the kind of story that we just need more and more of in life. So loved it. He took our 10-year-old son with us. My wife and I just had a great experience.
You're currently working in any other South Indian film now? Apart from, of course, Triplar is done. It's coming tomorrow. So apart from that,
Yeah.
any other South Indian film you're working?
Yeah, there's a really interesting horror film that I'm working on, Medhavi. It's being directed by Pavijay, which he's an amazing lyricist actually, who's now directing in Chennai, and Arjun Sarja is the hero, so I'm opposite him as the bad guy there. And yeah, we've been having like everybody else some delays and all that, but whatever we've shot so far has been just amazing. It's a horror genre, which I can't handle horror films. I can't handle watching them myself, but being in one has been quite fascinating, and it's good fun.
Like, what character would you like to play apart from these British films?
Yeah, I mean, I've played all that to the hilt. I've loved it, but yeah, I really also very much appreciate roles with more variety, with more layers to the characters, more nuance, and I do get that. I mean, I've been getting more and more of those kind of offers. I think as Indian cinema kind of opens up to and India opens up more to the idea that we're all a global community, and the idea of what is Indian is evolving too, to become more diverse and inclusive of people like me, who have immigrated here. So those roles are happening more and more, where it's not just, the British villain, I mean, and there is a big need for that. And I've been able to fill that, in Indian entertainment. There always will be. But we're seeing more and more, other opportunities as well. I've got a great role in Vikramaditya Motwani's Stardust series, which will be coming to OTT this year. And that was a great experience, playing a Russian diplomat in the 50s in Mumbai. And a lot of gray characters, a lot of interesting nuance and stuff happening there, and I was able to really get a lot out of that. I played a part of a gay couple coming to India to adopt an HIV positive orphan in an amazing short film recently, Saving Chintu, which got shortlisted for the Oscars, tore up the festival circuit, and will be coming to OTT now soon, and I can't wait for more and more people to see that as well. So playing more normal people, more regular people, it's a little more challenging sometimes, because you still got to have a compelling performance, and you can't fall back on, bluster and drama so much. You got to be more authentic, and I love that.
Who is your favorite Indian actor, sir?
I'd have to say Mumtaz. Anything she was in, back then, I'll just watch it over and over and just love it. Her and Rajesh Khanna together and stuff. It's just like, I just love that chemistry. I just love those songs. I just love her smile and stuff. My wife understands. It's okay. That vibe is really special. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. Old is gold for me.
Now in the market.
I find like there's so much talent out there. It's hard for me to say, but I had a great time working with Aditi Rao Hydari in Stardust recently. That was a great experience. I was really impressed with her ability to just like really help me in the scenes that we shared together. And Alia Bhatt is amazing. As far as like my favorite mainstream Bollywood actors, I think she's probably number one. Nasiruddin Shah is a classic, timeless, and I can never wait to see what he does next. Okay, I'll stop it. I'll just keep naming people.
So you were singing few Hindi songs in the beginning. So do you follow any particular musician or singer as such?
No, I love the old stuff mostly. Muhammad Rafi and Lata ji and Asha ji and Today, I mean, like, I don't know, the song that Sukhvinder Singh did for Dil Se, you know, Chaya Chaya, that really was big for me actually too, and I just love his voice. So yeah, I mean, forgive me if I'm not keeping up on all the latest, you know, and breaking talents out there, but you know, I just have a thing for the past, perhaps.
Sir, you being a stand-up comedian, did you ever felt that you want to write a film or direct a film?
Yeah, I would love to. I'm not sure I have the focus to do that. My mind just moves really fast, and I can never really sit down and flesh out a whole story and write it down. If I had someone maybe who could like kind of, you know, hold me down and write the stuff out as it comes out of my mouth. So far, you know, that hasn't happened. So yeah, I like writing jokes. I like being you know, a little spontaneous and just, you know, comedy is great for that. Stand up, I love, and I just haven't had the chance to do as much as I want to of it because I've been busy with other things. But writing a whole film, that just sounds overwhelming to me in my my short attention span.
Sir, like every industry, film industry is also a very competitive industry. Like, how do you stand out among all these competitions?
Yeah, it is very very competitive. I think, you know, it was very spontaneous and kind of a faith-based move for me to come and work in the Indian film industry, you know, kind of rather suddenly in life. But it was also a very calculated and it was an informed risk, I would say, because there's a niche here for someone like me who can play foreign roles and speaks Hindi, and it turned out to work out really well in so many, you know, in so many instances where I was, you know, able to do roles that really, you know, took advantage of my talents and my face and, you know, my accent and my Hindi and everything. So it was kind of a risk, but it was a calculated risk. So I don't feel like, you know, it was, you know, like I don't feel the same level of competition that I would feel if I was an Indian actor competing with millions and millions of you know, of amazingly talented actors in the industry. There's a lot of talented foreign actors here, but fewer. Now, there's also a lot fewer roles for us, so it kind of balances out. But I don't know, somehow I've been able to, you know, make a name for myself. You know, God has been very kind, and I feel very fortunate that it's gone well for whatever reason.
How do you handle all this pressure and stress, you know, of these busy schedule and, you know, getting chances and offers?
Fortunately, yeah, I don't handle the business side very well. You know, calls and negotiations, schedules. You know, I'm not even like terribly, you know, great in like, I don't much like going out for a lot of parties or anything and networking like that. I'm very simple. Just want to be home with my family a lot of the time and care of myself. But my wife, fortunately, although she doesn't much like doing it, she's actually really good at managing my work. So she's been doing that for me. And, you know, it just, it wouldn't be possible for me to manage and to get where I've gotten if it wasn't her, like, just, you know, taking care of the tough stuff and the stuff that's not too much fun and the stuff that my brain just can't really get around. So just, she's absolutely great at it. And I just, you know, I'll never be able to make it up to her.
Were you nominated for any awards, be it Bollywood or whatever?
You know, early on, I was nominated for Zee TV's Best Villain. I was playing a double role at the time. So I was nominated for, like, you know, Best Villain Geordie. And that was, you know, that was a big honor early on in my career. And since then, you know, I've just kind of just focused on on just my work and just getting to shoots, doing my voiceover work. I don't know, I'm not, like, the whole PR side and everything, not very good at it. Not actually, somehow it doesn't come naturally to me. But so haven't really pursued being noticed so much. But now with Triple R coming out, you know, more and more of these kind of releases, I guess, you know, it's time to, you know, have fun with it.
If a Telugu guy had to approach you for acting, like how should he approach you? Or should we give the script in advance? Or like what? Like how do they approach?
How is it done? Well, it's quite, you know, it varies from project to project, but generally, you know, there's a call to, you know, just telling me about this opportunity. You know, would you like to test for it? Would you like to do it? Then there's, you know, we read the script. My wife and I, like I said, you know, Sonal, you know, and I work together, you know, very closely. She's not only...
you'll read the script in advance before you're acting in a film?
Before I take on a role, if it's at all possible, I'll look at the script and make sure that it works and that I can, you know, I can do justice to it, and that it can, you know, that it fits in with me where I am in my career, and you know, so many factors to consider. There again, it's like, you know, my wife really helps me with these kind of decisions and all that. So you know, we work as a really good team. You know, a lot of times, you know, they're not willing to do that in the Indian industry. We make the best of it and just kind of push for, you know, whatever kind of information we can get beforehand. Eventually, you know, we come to know what's really going on and what it's like. And before you sign on the dotted line, you at least have, you know, a good idea of what's intended. Now, once shooting starts, things can change too. Your role can become smaller, your role can become bigger. Not just in TV, but in cinema as well. Things kind of happen spontaneously, and there's a lot of improvisation as the shooting progresses in Indian productions. You know, which can feel chaotic and kind of unsettling, but it also makes it exciting.
Sir, you've been 15 years in the industry. So how progressive was your career so far? Are you happy with what you've done so far?
Oh, absolutely. I feel very grateful that, you know, I've been able to, you know, have this much impact and, you know, have such great work. I love being on set. I love acting. And, you know, my voiceover work really also feeds me a lot, both spiritually and, you know, financially. So it's been a great trajectory. And I've been, you know, just, you know, kind of raising the bar for myself, you know, each year. And there's a lot of projects that, you know, that I say no to, because like I said, it needs to kind of just fit where I am with, you know, what I can give to a role and what a role can give to me. And it's just getting more and more exciting, you know, more and more opportunities and more varied opportunities, like we were talking about earlier, to take on new directions and new kinds of roles.
Did you do any OTT content before?
Yeah. I was in, you know, like the very first Indian produced web series on Amazon, the first season of Inside Edge. You know, I had a great experience there, and it's been great for the industry globally. You know, that it's just made a lot more varied kind of content, more accessible, you know, without the same kind of restrictions and the same kind of, you know, price points. So people from, you know, more and more demographics can watch, you know, more and more content, you know, and overall, you know, better quality content. I feel the stories, the kinds of freedom that writers and directors have creatively on the OTT platform can be greater. Certainly in the Indian market, and it's been great. And thank God for OTT during the COVID lockdown.
Is there anything that you want to express that I didn't ask? Anything?
Gosh, I don't know. You've given me so much time here. We've covered so much. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to like just, you know, shoot it all out here. Let's save some for next time. Right? Look forward to the next one. But basically, yeah, just really happy to share this film with everybody finally. And thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.